Afternoon, everyone. My name is Anita Soina. I am from this beautiful country, Kenya. I'm an environmentalist and a climate change advocate, and I'm just going to share a little about how I started my work in environmental conservation. So in the year 2016, I completed my high school education, and before joining campus, we had the 2017 general elections in Kenya. I'm so passionate about politics, and so I joined politics, and at that time I was campaigning for different people. I was not eligible to vote, so the much I could do was just do the online campaigns. And in the process, I met one of my mentors who was curious to understand why am I in this political space at such a young age. And I told him I just wanted to find myself in a space where I'm able to give back to the community one way or the other. And that is when he asked me whether I knew anything about the Sustainable Development Goals. That was the first time I was hearing about it. Being a girl from the village, I had never come across the Sustainable Development Goals, and he mentored me to learn. Every other week he'd ask, what have you learned today? Which did you learn about Goal 1 all the way to Goal 17? And in the process, I knew I was going to champion for zero poverty, no to hunger SDGs. But upon joining campus, I also needed money to sustain myself. So I started working in the gospel music industry. I used to help manage artists. I used to manage social media platforms of artists. And so I didn't have enough time to concentrate on what I wanted to do and also on studying. So I spent most of my time in studios with artists, taking them for interviews and all that. And with time, my platform continued to grow because the fans of the artists in one way or another became our followers because we used to associate with them. And because of no pay, not enough pay in that space, I was like, I have to leave this because it's not really paying me, and let me focus on my passion that I wanted to do. And that is when I started an organization. It's called Spice Warriors Climate and Environmental Organization. And the reason I gave it Spice Warriors is because if you come to the climate space and I say green warriors, or if you hear me say green something or environment something, you definitely know that it's related to environment. So I wanted to give it a fancy name that will not scare away young people, because those are like the people that I target, and try to make it change the language of conservation to something that young people can also be interested in. And with that, I can say it has been a journey since 2018, when I was the age of 18, all the way till date. I have been able to learn different things, from just an environmentalist planting trees to understanding the nexus between climate and other social issues. And with my passion for politics, I did not stop at the 2017 campaign. In the last election, I ran for office here in Kenya. And I was the youngest candidate for the position of Member of Parliament. And I ran on a Green Party, which is not really popular in Africa. Green parties are not popular in Africa, but I still do this anyway, so that's to tell others that we have been fighting for climate change from outside the corridors of power, but the real problem is political goodwill. So just to encourage others that we need to get to these spaces, to the corridors of power, and influence change from within. From that, I have also gotten opportunities. I currently represent the UN-hosted partnership, Sanitation and Water for All, as their global youth champion, and also currently working with the Senate Committee on Climate Change here in Kenya, just from the fact that I ran for that position. Over time, I also realized that in this space, there are so many people who are doing better work than even myself, but do not have a platform because nobody is telling their stories. And so I decided to offer my own platform to also tell other people's stories, so that they can also be exposed to opportunities, they can be exposed to funding for their projects, and they can also be exposed to what we've been able to gain over time. And through that, I got a chance to also receive grants from Africa No Filter, which is telling the stories of children and youth, the untold and unheard stories of children and youth from across the African continent, from the Africa Climate Summit to the road, on the road to COP28. Thank you very much.